This is a public service announcement. For this problem, which says prime factorization, you should be using your notes on page 30, called prime factorization, to remember how to do factor trees and ladders. You should also be using your throw-up sheet. On the middle of the formula side, it says prime factorization, right in the middle underneath GEMDAS. Okay, this problem says the prime factorization of 140 is shown below with one factor missing. What is this missing factor? So we know that whenever we take 140 and break it down into only its prime factors and then write it in its exponential form, that it'll have 2, so 2 squared times another prime number times 7, okay? So the fastest way to make sure you absolutely get it right is to make a factor tree and find the factors yourself. Okay, remember a factor tree is where you just keep dividing the numbers until you run out of branches. And let me show you what I mean. I'm going to start you off and then I'm going to need you to finish. So for starting with 140, you need to think of two numbers that multiply to make 140. Okay, if you can't think of two numbers, you can say 140 can be divided by blank. Okay, I see that this is even, so you could say 140 is divided by 2. Okay, and I'd have to do 2 times 70 to get 140. Okay, so these are my pairs that make 140. All right, these are my factors. So 2 is prime. So that branch is done, because if I don't end it and I keep going, I'm just going to keep writing 1 times 2. 1 times 2. It'll never stop. Okay, so 2 is done. That's as far as we can go without it repeating. So 2 is prime. Whereas 70 can also be split into two numbers that multiply to make 70. If you can't think of 2 at the same time, think 70 is divisible or can be divided by what number? If it's even, I always go with 2. Okay? If it ends in a 0, you can also do 5 or 10. All right? But you need to continue these branches until you have all of your ends circled. I'm going to help you with one more layer, and then you're going to finish it by yourself. Okay, so I know 70 is the product of 7 times 10. Okay? Now you need to decide, can 7 split anymore? And if so, keep going. If not, circle it. Can 10 split anymore? And if so, keep going. If not, circle it. All right, you need to get down to the bottom. And then all of your circled numbers are what makes up this exponential form. So if we have 2 squared, meaning we have 2 2's circled, we have a 7, and then you need to find the number that's missing. Okay, so when you keep this going, find the number that's missing. If you get to your test and you completely blank on how to do this, you can go backwards, kind of, and narrow it down. You can say, I know 2 squared is 4, okay, times something times 7. 4 times 7 is 28, so 28 times what is going to get me to 150, okay? This is the best way to go about it. So go ahead and finish that. Keep splitting up 10. But remember, you have a lot of things with math to try. Math has several different options. So do what makes sense to you.